Hello everyone, I am the Violet Howler, just Howler for short, and welcome to the first episode of Constructing Kingdoms, an in-depth literary analysis of the Kingdom Hearts story. One thing I've noticed over the years is that while there are a lot of YouTubers who do some great analysis about the series and provide entertaining theories about what's coming next, I often feel like a lot of them are missing pieces of the puzzle that keep them from seeing the full picture of what direction Kingdom Hearts is heading in. Yes, Melody of Memory and Union Cross pretty much confirm that Yozora and Verum Rex are setting up a plot that comments on our relationship with fiction by having the characters question whether they themselves are real, but I haven't seen any theories that touch on the archetypes and other layers of symbolism that are in play with this setup. Over the last 2 years, I've been writing essays analyzing the story, trying to understand the narrative and thematic building blocks that make up the story of Kingdom Hearts. So I decided to take it upon myself and fill that void on YouTube and hopefully inspire further discussion in this sphere of the fandom about how all the puzzle pieces fit together. For my first episode, I want to talk about the core of the narrative, the central thread that everything ultimately revolves around and connects back to one way or another, the relationship between Sora and Riku. Fans are, let's just say, divided as to the exact nature of Sora and Riku's connection. But it's clear on many levels when you look at the games that their bond has always been the driving force of the story. In Kingdom Hearts 1, Riku's fall to darkness is driven by his fear of Sora abandoning him, and at the end of the game, Sora declines going back to Destiny Islands with Kairi in order to bring him home. In Chain of Memories, the organization uses the promise of reuniting with Riku to lure Sora into Castle Oblivion so that they can have Naminé rewrite his memories. In 358 Days, Riku's desire to help Sora recover his lost memories and wake up is what brings him into contact with Xion and spurs the conflict that grows between her, Roxas, and Axel. In Kingdom Hearts 2, Sora's main goal is finding Riku so that they can go back to Destiny Islands together. Even when he returns to the Disney worlds searching for a way into the organization's stronghold, he never stops looking for his friend along the way. All of the prequel games like Birth by Sleep, Dark Road, and the Key Saga are ultimately setting up the events that lead to Sora and Riku's journey. After Sora takes Ven's heart into his own, Birth by Sleep's final episode ends with a post-credit scene of Sora and Riku standing on the beach before this message appears on the screen. In time, the worlds would be saved by these two heroes who stood beneath the same blaze of stars. In Recoded, the cloaked figure that Data Sora chases through the Disney worlds in the first part of the game is revealed to be the Data version of Riku. His capture by Maleficent and Pete means that the majority of the game can basically be summed up as Sora chases after Riku, the Data version. In Dream Drop Distance, the only reason Sora even agrees to take the Mark of Mastery exam is to boost Riku's confidence in himself, and the core gameplay mechanic foreshadows the reveal that Riku dove into Sora's dreams to protect him from Xehanort's machinations. While Kingdom Hearts 3 may not immediately appear to center around Sora and Riku's relationship, when you look at all the pieces, it's right there beneath the surface. Chirithy confirms in Remind that Kingdom Hearts 3 takes place on a time loop. What we see on screen in the base game is the second time Sora and the others are living through these events. Riku's words to Sora are what inspire him to get back up and keep going, making the shorter rewind that allows them to break the loop and move forward into a new timeline possible. This is something that the English localization obscured when it translated Riku's line as,
"You don't believe that. I know you don't."
In the original Japanese script, his line directly translated is, "I believe in you, you don't give up." In Japanese, Sora directly uses the same core word for not giving up when talking to the nameless star in the final world. And the Japanese version of Jiminy's Journal puts the "you don't give up" part of the line in quotation marks and cites it as the reason they were able to overwrite the original timeline. Plus, there's the fact that the logo animation for the final world directly mirrors Riku's sacrifice just a few moments previously. Kingdom Hearts 3 repeatedly shows us that the bond between Sora and Riku is literally what made the entire plot of the game that we saw on screen possible. The titles that have come out since then have set up the main plot of the next arc to just be the two of them alone in unfamiliar territory. And in addition to the surface-level story, you can also see how significant Sora and Riku's bond is through how many character dynamics are a mirror of their own. Birth by Sleep introduced parallels between Xehanort and Riku, while Dark Road characterized young Eraqus as the same type of laid-back goofball that Sora is. In Kingdom Hearts 3, Eraqus' ghost specifically looks at Sora and Riku while saying that it's too late for himself and Xehanort, but not for them. Saïx telling Lea in Kingdom Hearts 3 that he felt jealous and abandoned when Axel made friends with Roxas and Xion parallels Riku feeling that Sora replaced him with Donald and Goofy in Kingdom Hearts 1. This frames Saïx and Axel falling out as a reflection of the split between Sora and Riku that occurred in the first game, only with a decade of emotional baggage added on top. Terra and Aqua are the only ones of the Wayfinder trio to interact with Sora and Riku face-to-face in Birth by Sleep. Aqua specifically notes the resemblance between Sora and Ven, but it's her bond with Terra that affects how she interacts with the two boys. She declines to appoint Sora as a potential apprentice because she doesn't want the pressures of being a Keyblade Master to come between Sora and Riku the way it did for her and Terra. On top of everything in the actual games that highlights their importance to the story, we have interviews with the development team confirming just how critical Sora and Riku's bond is. Tetsuya Nomura has been on record stating that Birth by Sleep was created specifically as a vehicle for scenes showcasing young Sora and Riku. And in a 2013 interview with IGN.com, series producer Shinji Hashimoto stated that the main focus of the series is Sora and Riku, how their friendship develops, and also how they grow up. We have it right there from one of the highest members of the development team that Sora and Riku's bond is the central focus of the entire story. But whenever I see someone point out details that connect back to that bond, other fans just groan and call them delusional shippers trying to twist everything to make it about their pairing. Because of course we must be reaching to think that the developers would intentionally find subtle and clever ways to connect every detail of each game back to something they said is the main focus of the series. I'm not gonna bash anyone for having different shipping tastes, but regardless of how one chooses to interpret Sora and Riku's bond, it is still worthwhile to discuss the importance of that bond as the major driving force of the series. And unfortunately, I've seen very few people who are not Suriku shippers that are willing to do so. If you're someone who thinks that any potential romantic subtext between Sora and Riku is not intentional on the part of the development team, I'm not here to convince you. You've probably already made up your mind and nothing I say will change your opinion. If I do manage to convince you, awesome. If not, I couldn't care less. If you want to listen to me ramble some more about tropes and storytelling patterns in Kingdom Hearts, feel free to give me a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you back here in 2 weeks for the next video.